What's going on, guys? I'm back with my 25 Days of Christmas Marathon, and today we're going to be doing Christmas with the Kranks. Finally alone for the holidays, Luther and Nora Krank plan to skip the Christmas traditions and take a cruise to the Caribbean. This doesn't sit well with their Christmas-obsessed neighbors Vic and Walt, who are determined to win the annual Best Decorated Street competition, and the Kranks soon find themselves social outcasts because of their lack of Christmas spirit. Now, if I'm being honest, this is one of these, unfortunately, there's quite a bit now, Christmas films that I'd love to skip over and just review a decent Christmas film, but with this now having a sort of cult following, if you will, I decided to tackle this film, so let's regretfully unpack Christmas with the Kranks. At face value, Christmas with the Kranks certainly has its potential to be different amongst other Christmas films, while being decent at its core, but what it brewed into was unfortunately anything but that. Starting with the story. Put simply, it's just one big dumb mess. As I mentioned, it somewhat started off promising with its premise, but after the first 20 minutes or so, it became so uneven, so silly, and just so lazy all at once. The theme of parents doing something else for the holiday once their kids move away can certainly be realistic, but the way they tackled it just really didn't make much sense, amongst a couple other few subplots that they incorporated as well. There was too many contrasting ideas going on, or it felt like there was just too many creators in the creative room when the film was being thought up, because things would just happen, then it would change in an instant, while just piling more stuff onto what's already a fairly underdeveloped main plot, and you can certainly sense that through the characters' interactions. To back onto the point of contrasting ideas and things not making much sense, the whole involvement with the neighborhood was drastically unrealistic. Sure, some suburban neighborhoods are somewhat close, I guess, but not to the point where they're protesting outside of someone's house to put up a Christmas decorations for a contest. It just kind of seemed like everybody in the neighborhood spent more time worried about what other families were doing rather than focus on themselves. It's a pretty common theme nowadays now, isn't it? But maybe I'm just too dense to maybe realize the message in that, but it certainly wasn't shown well. One of my other main issues of the film in general, along with the story, it just doesn't encapsulate Christmas all the best, does it? Sure, you have the surrounding themes like the snow, the decorations, and the music, but the messages throughout the film almost go against the grain and almost offset this as a Christmas movie, and when it finally does hint at a proper Christmas message, it feels rushed and entirely forced down your throat to where you don't buy it for 1 second. For my money anyways, the movie is too long as it is, sending over 90 minutes, and even with the extended runtime aside, I would still argue that about 75 out of the 99 minutes are spent not passing along the Christmas spirit and just full of slapstick and half-written ideas. Now my next issue comes from the characters. Yes, I will give them their due in saying they look like they had a decent time making the film, and they were probably the driving force, but that's also an issue in itself. There really wasn't even one redeeming character in the entire film. Me, I'll watch anything really Jamie Lee Curtis is in, being a big Halloween fan, but even her character was a bit all over the place. She had her grounding moments when it came to the family theme, but her character was just, again, all over the place, being a down-to-earth mom at one moment, then a batshit crazy lazy at another moment, and without a doubt, Tim Allen was just as bad, if not worse. Sure, his character was more consistent in his tone, but almost completely unbearable at times. There was a couple of chuckle-worthy moments here and there, but his character was just a dickhead most of the time, where it was clearly setting up a complete 180 arc that was super forced and not genuine at all. And the last character I wanted to talk about is the daughter. Performance-wise, she was fine, but as a character, she was so hollow and underdeveloped. The film opens up with her moving away. Yeah, so she's basically irrelevant the entire time up until the last bit of the last act, and all of a sudden, everyone in the neighborhood has a tie to her and wants to back her up in a return home. What are we saying? Although it's basically irrelevant, her getting married to a lad she basically just met was super unnecessary. It was just to get her to come home, but they very easily could have wrote her in leaving with the boyfriend in the beginning, then them getting engaged off camera and coming home for the holiday, not this out of the woodworks act to facilitate the plot. As for the side characters, they all did their best for what they were given, but what they were given was basically nothing, because man, they were given nothing better than what our main protagonists were given, being so dreadfully dumb and basically useless to the senseless plot. And the last bit I wanted to touch on was the script. Unfortunately, I would be lying if I said I didn't laugh at least a couple times, but man, the script was so flat and so damn lazy. It's really just a bunch of slapstick jokes that's been done before, hence feeling lazy, where a lot of it just doesn't really land, making a lot of the dialogues just absolutely dead. Overall, Christmas with the Kranks isn't really one I grew up on per se. I did watch it a few times growing up, but even then, it still wasn't one of my favorite, nor could it really hold the candle to like Frosty or Rudolph. Christmas with the Kranks gets a flimsy 2 out of 10 for me. Let me know what you think of Christmas with the Kranks in the comments below, and let me know what film you'd like to see me review next. See you guys on the next one.